How do you sort out the so-called jargon from real-world practices that work? Do the members of your organization find some business or technology advice utterly confusing? Welcome to Real Talk with Sam Holcman. In this program, we set the record straight, and in terms that business people and technology people can understand. Now, here is your host, Sam Holcman.
Welcome to this edition of Real Talk. I'm Sam Holcman. Thanks for joining me today. And the topic for this particular broadcast is the year 2038. If you haven't heard about this yet, people can call it the many things. I've heard Y2K38. I've heard the superbug. I've heard Y2038. But if you remember back to what? Year 2000, if any of you remember that fiasco, good phrase for it, I think, it was about a timing issue. Well, we have a time computing problem coming up again. And the exact date is January 19th, 2038 at 3:14:07 seconds UTC time. How's that for pretty precise? And it happens to be because of measurement of time using Unix. And there's nothing wrong with Unix. There's nothing wrong with anything we're talking about here. But there was a lot of things that were done with a specific constraint. I'm going to summarize this year 2038 issue. If you had the activities in your organization or yourself regarding year 2000, year 2038 is going to make the year 2000 situation look like, as the joke goes, child's play. This one is big. And basically, it has to do with things that are involved with the 32-bit operating system. 32-bit operating system. Now, how many things have 32-bit operating systems? File systems, databases, query languages, embedded systems, and I can go on and on and on. Anti-lock braking systems in cars, GPS receivers, cameras, Internet Protocol cameras, routers, GPS receivers, traction control, four-wheel drives in cars. You got it. There's just an incredible amount of things that are there. And I understand, as this broadcast is put on the air, there is, quote, time to get to this. And I remember, because I was involved in the year 2000 things, we said the same thing 10 years before, 5 years before, 3 years before, 2 years before, and all of a sudden, panic occurred. Well, what do we need to do? Well, there's a lot of reasons to address this now. I'm not talking about addressing this year 2038 issue directly, but what we need to do is stop the madness. Stop the madness. What do I mean? Recognize that this is a possibility, and if you're writing code or buying code or looking at code or anything that has a computer system, start asking questions. And if you can't get an answer, go somewhere else, because this is going to be a lingering issue. If you're in an organization, what you need to do now is start building an inventory that looks at your complete supply chain of anything that has code in it. And it's not just an application, but how the application was written. So it's the software and hardware supply chain that you need to look at. When's a good time to start? Today. And so getting prepared here will also give us a lot of different advantages other than just the year 2038 issue that may be there in your organization today. Getting an asset inventory is something that we need to have today and tomorrow as a baseline for addressing and managing change. Thanks for listening. Until next time, let's get going here.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk. Be sure to join your host, Sam Holcman, again for another edition of our program. We'll have more real topics of discussion then.